Do you want to break into cybersecurity in 2025 as a cybersecurity analyst? Well, these top 5 certs will put you ahead of everybody else and give you the skills that you need. Hi, my name's AJ. I've been in cybersecurity for the last 9 years, and on this channel, I teach all things cybersecurity for beginners. So let's get into it. Why do certifications actually matter? Well, the main reason for them is to actually help you get interviews. You'll see job descriptions, they usually ask for certifications that you need, and this will help you bypass those application tracking tools and bypass and get through to the hiring manager. They're ultimately kind of a benchmark to help you understand the information that is presented in a certification, but also they're usually really good for HR filters to actually help you get the interview in the first place. Secondly, then they can actually give you a focused learning path, so it allows you to learn only what is required in the certification instead of trying to learn everything, which will just overwhelm you and which will get very difficult in cybersecurity because there's so much to learn. And also when you pay, you often take it more serious. And if you're going to take it more serious, it means you're going to stick at it and most likely get the results that you expect. And certifications, when you pay for them, give you the drive to pass the exam. And this drive to pass the exam can also help you learn much faster as well. So that's one reason I like certifications. And finally, they can help you learn the skills for a particular job. So trying to go for a cybersecurity analyst role, if you can target certifications that related to the skills of a cybersecurity analyst, which I'll talk about in this video, then they can help you learn the skills of that job, which is the main thing that you want them for, to be able to learn the skills and get in. Next up then is CompTIA Security Plus. Now, this is a staple certification and something that most people will just need when trying to get into cybersecurity. It's fantastic for learning the fundamentals in cybersecurity. It is more general. It's not tailored towards any particular job. But as you can see, if you look into websites like Indeed and other job websites, like you can see here, that they ask for the requirements as CompTIA Security Plus. So having this on your resume and your CV is going to allow you to bypass and get through some of these application tracking systems and also get through to the hiring manager as well. So you want to have as many of the requirements as you possibly can when going for these jobs, and the all-roundness of CompTIA Security Plus and the fact that there's so many jobs that require it anyway, that it's a great certification to go for, and it's a very good one to go for when you're starting out to learn the cybersecurity fundamentals, which you might not have at the moment. So definitely a great certification to start out with, and you can start out by learning it for free. So on YouTube, a great guy called Professor Messer, he's got the full course available on there. So jump in, have a look at that. Before you start to pay for anything, you want to make sure that you're actually going to enjoy it. You want to make sure that you enjoy cybersecurity before you dedicate a lot of time to it and a lot of money and resources, for example. But CompTIA Security Plus, excellent certification for the fact that there's many jobs asking for it and the fact that it teaches some really good fundamentals. And you can come in and have a look at the certification itself to understand what it's going to teach you. Think general security concepts, threats, vulnerabilities, mitigation, security architecture, security operations, which is very good for becoming a cybersecurity analyst, for example. Understanding security program management and oversight. So there's a lot of great content in here. Like I said, it is more general and not targeted towards any particular job. Where it's a great certification to start out with, especially when you're trying to become a cybersecurity analyst. The next up then is the GIA Security Essentials, or the GSEC certification. Now, these certifications are created by an organization called SANS, and they're a very large governing body when it comes to examinations and cybersecurity training. Their certifications can be quite expensive, and this one is aimed at beginners, but it is more expensive than the CompTIA Security Plus. I don't actually think it holds as much weight in the industry. Some of their more advanced certifications definitely do. But the more beginner certification, as you can see when you look at different jobs, it doesn't have as many job requirements requesting this certification, but these SANS certifications are well renowned. So if you are looking to go for a more expensive certification, and this is the one that you're looking at, then this is likely what you'll want to go for. But I would say the CompTIA Security Plus probably does still hold a little bit more weight, even though the more advanced certifications from SANS, so as you can see here, GIAC.org, Many of their advanced certifications, once you have these on your resume or your CV, for example, I've done 2 of them, it's very, very easy to then apply for jobs after, once you've got the experience and some SANS certifications as well. But this one, I've not personally done this one, but it does cover off some really good areas. So it is kind of maybe a little bit more advanced than CompTIA Security Plus, but it is being aimed at beginners as well. But like I said, this one could be a bit more expensive, but it can also, if it is, because it is a SANS certification, can hold some weight in the industry. But again, it's not completely targeted towards a particular industry or job, but it does go through things like SIEM and incident handling, which are the kind of things that you will want to learn as a cybersecurity analyst. Number 3 then is actually CompTIA Network Plus. So I would probably actually do this one first and then something like the CompTIA Security Plus after. So the CompTIA Network Plus, very, very good certification to start to understand the fundamentals of networking, which is hugely important in cybersecurity, because ultimately cybersecurity is there to protect networks. You need to understand how networks actually work. This certification does go really in-depth into networking, which can sometimes be off-putting, and many of the concepts that you learn in here you don't actually do on a day-to-day basis in cybersecurity, but it's still very good to get a good fundamental understanding of networking, because it's going to make you a much better cybersecurity professional if you do understand networking. Now, I'm not a networking expert. Likely if I took the CompTIA Network Plus exam now, I would probably fail, but when you're starting out as a beginner, you do want to get the fundamentals of CompTIA Network Plus. And even though this does go in depth into networking, you still want to try and pass it if you can, because it does also look very good on your resume and on your CV. But don't let it put you off from cybersecurity, because we have spoken to some people in the past who've done CompTIA Network Plus, found it a little bit too in depth, and then not gone on and done CompTIA Security Plus because it has been a bit off-putting. But do must try to get this certification if you can. If you do find it quite difficult, then just take it one step at a time, and then maybe even go straight into CompTIA Security Plus after, because the certifications, CompTIA Security Plus does cover 50% of the content of CompTIA Network Plus as well. So you're going to get a very good fundamental understanding of CompTIA Network Plus. As you can see in here, then it's going to go through a lot of the networking concepts. So much of this is similar to what I learned when I was at university, did a business and IT degree. It had a tiny networking module, and these are the type of things that I was going through. Again, things like routing and switching. You're not going to be setting up networks as a cybersecurity professional, but you do want to have a good understanding of what all the different concepts mean. You mostly want to understand how traffic navigates across a network, how computers actually talk to one another. This is going to give you a good comprehensive understanding of networking. So I definitely would recommend getting this one as well. And there's a lot of jobs out there that are actually asking for. The other certifications then aren't quite tailored towards any specific job, but they are very good at building up the fundamentals. This one, the Microsoft Security Operations Analyst, SC200, is targeted more towards the cybersecurity analyst role. One thing I would say is that it all is around Microsoft products, Microsoft security solutions. So there might be many companies that aren't actually using things like Microsoft Azure or Microsoft products, but there obviously are a lot of companies that are using these products. So getting this knowledge is never going to be a bad thing. But the great thing about this certification is that it is allowing you to understand how to investigate, search, and actually respond to threats using Microsoft Sentinel, which is the cloud SIEM that Microsoft actually produces. Also allowing you to understand Microsoft Defender and Microsoft 365, for example, and Microsoft 365 Defender. So this is a great certification because it is targeted more the cybersecurity analyst job role, which is the job role that we recommend going for because it is considered the more entry-level role. I wouldn't say it's completely entry-level because there is still a lot that you need to know, like we've mentioned during these certifications, but it is the better role to target. And as you can see here, it's going to help you understand how to triage, respond to incidents, how to actually query a SIEM, which is hugely important as a cybersecurity analyst. So like I said, it is targeting more Microsoft products, and there might be many companies out there that don't use Microsoft products, but you can take those concepts and relay them to other SIEMs, for example. So you might get Microsoft Sentinel SIEM experience, but you can often relay those skills to, say, Splunk and Elastic, for example. So this is a very good certification, and I like it because it's more tailored towards a particular job role, which is that of a cybersecurity analyst. A certification I would recommend is the Splunk core certified user. So now I mentioned previously that the SC200 targets more Microsoft products. Well, Microsoft Sentinel is a hugely popular SIEM, and you'll understand how to query Microsoft Sentinel. But another hugely popular SIEM is actually Splunk. So understanding how to query Splunk, how to actually respond to incidents, and while responding to those incidents, perform different queries in Splunk is really going to help you stand out as a cybersecurity analyst, because many companies are using Splunk as a SIEM and as a log ingestion tool. So being able to query that data and learn about Splunk queries is hugely important. And as you can see on a website like Indeed, you just search for Splunk in the UK and it's going across 200 plus jobs. So these skills for Splunk, querying Splunk, setting up Splunk, for example, are well renowned and required skills in cybersecurity. As you can see here, cybersecurity analyst, threat analyst, requiring Splunk because many companies are using Splunk. So it's good to get experience across different SIEMs so that you can target different jobs that maybe require different SIEM solutions and different security solutions. So this is a really good certification for that. And you can come in here onto the actual Splunk website, and this is going to go through exactly how much it costs, how long it's going to take, and you can see that this one is targeted more towards the entry-level person. So once you've gone through the other certifications, I'll probably do your Network Plus, Security Plus certification first, and then look to go more towards the SC200 and the Splunk certification as well. So it's got great information in here about how to use Splunk, how to become more of an expert at Splunk, which is hugely important as a cybersecurity analyst. Personally, for me, I'm using Splunk on a daily basis, querying Microsoft Sentinel on a daily basis. Even Elastic SIEM as well is another SIEM solution that is another one that you can get familiar with as well. But as you can see from the jobs, Splunk is a hugely popular SIEM, and understanding how to query it in the context of a security operations center and as a cybersecurity analyst is a hugely important skill that can kind of put you ahead of other candidates who are out there trying to go for those same jobs. So now you understand the top 5 certifications that I recommend if you're trying to become a cybersecurity analyst. I want to say thank you for watching this video. If you want to know more about what I do day to day as a cybersecurity analyst, go and watch this video next where I'll talk about my day in the life as a cybersecurity analyst. I want to say thank you for watching. I'll see you over there.